Welcome back. Today we're settling one of the oldest arguments in car culture, manual versus automatic transmission. And I'm not going to give you a fanboy answer. I'm not going to say manuals are always better because soul. I'm not going to say automatics are always better because faster. Instead, we're going to look at 6 categories: speed, fuel economy, cost, daily drivability, engagement, and future-proofing. By the end of this 2 0-minute video, you'll know exactly which gearbox belongs in your next car. Let's get into it. Before we compare, we need to understand what's actually happening inside these gearboxes. A manual transmission is simple. You have a clutch pedal, a stick, and a gear set. Push the clutch, the engine disconnects from the wheels. Move the stick, you physically slide gears into place. Release the clutch, the engine reconnects. You are the computer. You decide when to shift. An automatic transmission is wildly different. Most modern automatics use a torque converter. That's a fluid coupling that replaces the clutch. The engine spins a turbine inside fluid, which spins another turbine connected to the wheels. No direct mechanical connection at idle. Then, a computer called the TCU uses hydraulic pressure and clutch packs to change gears for you. No clutch pedal, no thinking. Then there's the DCT, dual clutch transmission. Imagine 2 manual gearboxes in one case. One clutch handles odd gears, 1st, 3rd, 5th. The other handles even gears, 2nd, 4th, 6th. The next gear is always pre-selected. When you shift, one clutch opens and the other closes in milliseconds. That's why DCTs shift faster than any human possibly could. CVTs are the 4th type. Continuously variable transmissions. No gears at all. Just 2 pulleys and a belt that changes diameter infinitely. You never feel a shift. The engine just holds at peak power or peak efficiency. Great for fuel economy, terrible for fun. Let's kill the first myth immediately. The old saying was, manual is faster because you control the power band. That hasn't been true for 15 years. Take real numbers. A 2024 Toyota GR Corolla manual only, but let's compare to its automatic rival, the Volkswagen Golf R with DSG. Golf R DSG does 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. The manual GR Corolla, 4.9 seconds, a full second slower. What about the same car with both options? The 2024 Ford Mustang GT. Manual does 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. The 10-speed automatic does it in 3.9 seconds, half a second. On a track, the automatic is consistently 2 to 3 seconds faster per lap. Why? Modern automatics and DCTs shift in 8 to 50 milliseconds. The best human in the world takes 200 to 300 milliseconds. Plus, automatics never miss a shift. They never money shift from 5th to 2nd. And they always upshift at the exact perfect RPM every single time. So, if speed is your only goal, automatic wins, no question. But speed isn't everything. Second myth, manuals get better gas mileage. This one actually used to be true. In the 1980s and 1990s, a manual transmission was usually 3 to 4 miles per gallon better than its automatic counterpart. Why? Because early automatics had only 3 or 4 gears and a very inefficient torque converter that wasted energy as heat. Today, completely reversed. Modern automatics have 8, 9, even 10 gears. More gears mean the engine stays at its most efficient RPM more often. On the highway, the torque converter locks up solid, no fluid slip at all. Add in features like stop-start, cylinder deactivation, and predictive shifting that looks at GPS data to anticipate hills, and the automatic easily beats the manual. Let me give you an example. The 2024 BMW M2 manual gets 16 city, 24 highway. The 8-speed automatic gets 16 city, 26 highway. The Honda Civic Si is manual only, but the automatic Civic Sport with the same engine gets 1 to 2 mpg better across the board. The EPA has tested this extensively. In every single modern car offered with both transmissions, the automatic equals or beats the manual on fuel economy. That's just a fact. Now let's talk money, because this is where it gets complicated. Up front, a manual is cheaper. Most manufacturers charge $1,000 to $2,000 less for the stick shift. That's real savings. But we have to look at long-term ownership. A manual transmission has wearable parts, the clutch, the throw-out bearing, the flywheel, the clutch master and slave cylinders. If you drive normally, a clutch can last 100,000 to 150,000 miles. If you drive hard, or you're learning, or you ride the clutch in traffic, 60,000 miles. Replacing a clutch costs $1,200 to $2,000 at a good independent shop, double that at a dealer. An automatic transmission has no clutch pedal. The clutch packs inside are bathed in fluid and last much longer, usually 200,000 miles or more if you service the transmission every 60,000 miles. That service is $300 to $500. But, and this is a big but, if an automatic transmission fails completely, you're looking at $4,000 to $8,000 for a replacement. A used manual transmission costs $500 to $1,500. So here's the rule. Manual equals cheaper repairs but more frequent. Automatic equals expensive repairs but rare. If you keep a car for 3 years and sell it, the manual saves you money up front. If you keep a car for 10 years and 200,000 miles, the automatic might actually be cheaper because you'll probably replace the clutch in the manual at least once, maybe twice. Let's be brutally honest about real-world driving. If you live in a city like Los Angeles, Atlanta, London, or Toronto, stop-and-go traffic, the pain of sitting on a freeway for 45 minutes, moving 20 feet at a time. In a manual, that means left leg on the clutch constantly, engage, disengage, engage, disengage. Your leg gets tired, your knee might actually hurt if you have any joint issues, and you can't eat, you can't really drink coffee, you can't multitask. In an automatic, traffic is boring but not physically demanding. You just point the car and creep forward. You can relax, you can take a sip of your drink, the car handles the repetitive work. But here's the other side. Open roads, mountain passes, empty back roads at sunrise. In those conditions, a manual transforms the experience. You choose the gear. You decide to hold second gear longer to hear the engine scream. You rev match your downshifts into a corner. The car isn't driving you. You're driving the car. An automatic, even with paddle shifters, never feels the same. The computer always has a safety net. It will upshift for you if you hit the rev limiter. It won't let you make a mistake. That safety is also a loss of connection. So daily driving winner, automatic, hands down, for anyone with a real commute. But weekend driving winner, manual, by a landslide. This is the part where manual fans get emotional, and honestly, they're right to. There is something about a perfectly executed heel-toe downshift that no automatic can replicate. Let me explain heel-toe. You're braking into a corner. You need to downshift from fourth to third. But if you just push the clutch and downshift, the engine revs will be too low and the car will lurch. So you use your right foot to brake with the toe while blipping the throttle with your heel. The engine revs match the wheel speed. You release the clutch. Perfect seamless downshift. It's hard. It takes months to learn, years to master, and when you get it right, it feels incredible. An automatic just does that for you. Perfectly. Every time. No effort, no satisfaction. I'm not saying one is objectively better. I'm saying they offer different things. A manual is like a mechanical watch. An automatic is like an Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is more accurate, more functional, and objectively better at telling time. But the mechanical watch has gears you can see, a rotor you can hear, and a connection to history that the smartwatch doesn't have. Which one you prefer tells me a lot about you. We have to break down automatic transmissions because they are not all the same. If you're thinking about buying an automatic, you need to know which type you're getting. First, torque converter automatic. This is the classic slush box. Smooth, reliable, and generally pretty lazy. Found in most trucks, most SUVs, and economy cars from Toyota, Honda, GM, and Ford. Pros: bulletproof reliability, silky smooth at low speeds. Cons: slower to respond, less engaging. This is the automatic your dad had. Second, dual clutch transmission, or DCT. This is a motorsport-derived gearbox. Fastest shifting transmission on the market, found in Porsches, Volkswagens, Audis, BMW M cars, Hyundai N models, and many supercars. Pros: lightning fast, sharp, exciting. Cons: can be jerky in stop-and-go traffic, expensive to repair, and some cheaper DCTs are very clunky at parking lot speeds. Third, continuously variable transmission, or CVT. No gears, just a belt between two cones. The engine holds at peak power while the transmission changes ratio continuously. Pros: excellent fuel economy, very smooth, cheap to manufacture. Cons: sounds terrible under hard acceleration, like a lawnmower or a rubber band stretching, and most CVTs are programmed to feel sluggish. Avoid a CVT if you care about driving fun. There are exceptions, like the Subaru WRX CVT, which is decent, but generally, CVT stands for constantly very tedious. If you want a fun automatic, buy a DCT. If you want a reliable automatic, buy a torque converter. If you only care about gas mileage, buy a CVT. We have to address the elephant in the room. Manual transmissions are disappearing. In the year 2000, roughly 35% of new cars sold in America had a manual transmission. In 2010, about 15%. In 2024, less than 2%. Why? Reason 1. Emissions regulations. Automatics allow features like engine stop-start, cylinder deactivation, and very tall overdrive gears that drop highway RPM to 1200. Those features are hard or impossible to implement with a manual. Reason 2. Electric vehicles. EVs don't have transmissions with multiple gears. They have a single reduction gear. One gear. No shifting. As the world moves electric, the manual transmission has no place. Reason 3. Autonomous driving. A self-driving car cannot have a clutch pedal. The computer can't feel the bite point the way a human can. If cars are going to drive themselves, they need automatics. Reason 4. Simple economics. Automatics sell better. Used car buyers want automatics. Rental fleets want automatics. Manufacturers save money by offering only one transmission, and that one transmission is almost always an automatic. The manual isn't dead yet. You can still buy a new Mazda MX-5 Miata with a stick. You can buy a Civic Si or Type R, a Subaru WRX, a Ford Mustang, a Cadillac Blackwing, a Porsche 911, but the list shrinks every year. If you want a manual, buy one now. In 10 years, they may be gone from new cars entirely. So after 20 minutes, what's the answer? Here's my verdict, broken down by who you are. Buy the manual if you drive primarily for fun, not for commuting. You don't sit in heavy traffic daily. You want to learn a skill that takes years to master. You don't care about lap times or drag strip numbers. You plan to keep the car as a weekend toy or future classic. You have a second car that's an automatic for daily duties. Buy the automatic if You commute in traffic more than 30 minutes a day? You want the fastest possible acceleration and lap times? You value fuel economy above all else. You plan to resell the car easily? Automatics sell faster. You have any knee, leg, or left foot issues? You just want transportation, not a hobby. Here's my controversial take. If you can only have one car and you drive every day, buy the automatic. It's the smarter choice for real life. But if you have the space and budget for a second car, buy a cheap manual as your fun car. A used Mazda Miata, a Honda Civic Si, an old BMW 3 Series with a stick. That gives you the best of both worlds. Don't let anyone shame you for your choice. Automatics are incredible now. Manuals are beautiful relics. Both are valid. That's the full comparison. 20 minutes. No fluff. If you made it to the end, you are a real car person regardless of what you drive. Leave a comment telling me what you drive and whether it's a manual or auto. And if you completely disagree with me, tell me why. Just keep it respectful. Hit like if this helped you, subscribe for more deep dive car content, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. If you made it to the end, you are a real car person regardless of what you drive. Leave a comment telling me what you drive and whether it's a manual or auto. And if you completely disagree with me, tell me why. Just keep it respectful. This is CarLife, and we do deep dive comparisons like this every single week. So hit that subscribe button right now, join the CarLife family, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next comparison video. We've got manual versus automatic, petrol versus diesel, sedan versus SUV, and a lot more coming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.